The majority of you have a ton of friends, but you notice when you start to self-improve that it's sometimes harder to maintain those friendships. They seem different now, and they even act differently around you. You start to think to yourself, do I have toxic friends? So, do you? Now, before we go any farther into this video, I need to make one thing clear. Now, before we go any further, just because you can recall one instance where your friend may have exhibited one of these signs does not mean you need to start hitting them up, calling them a horrible person, and blocking them and ghosting them, and just in general being horrible towards them. Does not mean you need to break off the friendship immediately. However, if you read this list and you start to realize that there's a family member or friend that has exhibited all three of these signs, then maybe it's time to start examining that relationship and seeing if you need to shut this person off from your life. People with all three of these traits usually end up being emotionally draining people, and just in general, you don't want to interact with them. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video.
Handsome like Mr. Clean, flaming like some kerosene, fresher than some Listerine, looking like a stream. Point two just to hurt you, all red lamb just to tease you.
They will continuously make you break good habits or try to make you continue bad ones. So when you're starting self-improvement, you have those friends who are obviously hyping you up. You know, you got one friend that says it's awesome you're going to the gym. You got that other friend that's saying it's great that you're improving your mental health. And then you have that one friend who keeps downplaying all of your achievements. They keep saying things like you're no longer fun, you don't want to go out anymore, that you're boring. And most of the time, this friend, let's call him Josh, is more interested in instant gratification activities that don't amount to anything in the long term. And if Josh is a liberal or a feminist, he even starts calling you toxically masculine or a rip-off Andrew Tate just for wanting to better yourself. He calls you crazy for going on to NoFap, that it's okay to masturbate 5 times a day. He tells you to stop tracking your calories and that it's weird to do that. Overall, it just seems like Josh doesn't like to see others improve. It makes him feel scared. It throws chaos into his environment, you may say, to see someone go on to do great things. And then the first reaction is, well, we gotta get Josh onto self-improvement because he's gonna see all the benefits too. Don't bother in these cases. Josh does not want to self-improve. Josh is perfectly happy living the average lifestyle of every young man. He's too busy trying to get a kill streak in Call of Duty or ordering something off of DoorDash to even listen to you in the first place. And even if you could get his attention, it would not work. Josh in the end is only gonna halt and diminish your progress.
Point two just to hurt you, all red lamb just to tease you.
They're always the hero or the victim, no matter the situation. So one day you and your friends are hanging out and you're telling embarrassing stories. You know, you got Pete who's telling you about the time he fell off a balcony because he was drunk. You got Carl telling you about how he fumbled an absolute beautiful of a girl. And then right the fuck out of nowhere, Scott just starts telling you a story about how he shot a bear and saved everyone that he was at a cabin with. It's a little weird, but you play it off. A couple days later, and now Scott's telling a victim story. He's talking about a time him and a couple of friends went to a restaurant and there was a server, and he started this confrontation with a server, and the server was being absolutely nice, but even in that story, he makes it seem like he was the one that was in the right, and the server was just somehow in the wrong. Even in his story, they were doing nothing bad. Or he tells you about how all his ex-girlfriends are crazy and how they're all obsessed with him and doing crazy shit. It literally seems like no matter the situation, no matter the environment, Scott is always either a hero or a victim. None of the times he is ever the person embarrassing himself or looking cringy. It's always the blame of someone else. And Scott is only going to be more emotionally draining in the future on you. The type of person that's just literally always going to say that you're in the wrong no matter. And in general, Scott is only going to make you feel worse as a person.
Point two just to hurt you, all red lamb just to tease you.
The friend who goes, I'm sorry you feel that way, or AKA zero accountability. One day, you and your buddy Chris are eating some food. Y'all are at a restaurant, it's going good, and then it's time for y'all to pay the bill. Chris does the little calculation to split the bill evenly, and you take a look at it just as a reaction. And immediately Chris gets defensive of this. He starts asking you like, why don't you trust me? Are you trying to say I'm trying to scam you? And starts getting into an argument, and it escalates to the point where he's calling you names and you feel horrible about yourself. And in general, the lunch just feels horrible at the end. So eventually a couple days pass and you decide to reconcile. Maybe things can be different now. You know, you're gonna put all that behind you. But even during when you're trying to reconcile and you're saying sorry, Chris doesn't say sorry back. Instead, he just doubles down on how wrong you are and how you just need to be more mature when someone insults you. In essence, he fake apologizes to you, saying that he's sorry that you feel that way. And it's because Chris is not interested in maintaining a healthy relationship with accountability. Everything is everyone else's fault. Just like with Scott, do not fall for these shortcomings. Josh, Scott, and Chris at one point were the same person for me, and it took me a lot of digging to realize that I needed to cut this person out from my life. So if you have someone in your life right now who reminds you of all three of these traits, this video is your inspiration to take a step back and take control back over your friendship. If you like this video, then make sure to scroll down right now, make sure to subscribe, make sure to like, make sure to turn on notifications, and I'll see you on the next video. Stay safe, stay smart, and start taking accountability today. Peace.
Handsome like Mr. Clean, flaming like some kerosene, fresher than some Listerine, looking like a string bean.